Okay, the PVC cutting went very well. The first piece is going to, I told you we needed to put a little adapter in here. I wrapped it with just some nylon Teflon tape. It's made, I guess, to protect threads. But my first little short piece of PVC pipe goes in like that. And then my first elbow is going to go just like that. And then I also, I cut a hole in the top of the basket that I talked about earlier. And so that's going to go through here like this, and we said the basket's going to sit on the bottom. So let's go ahead and put, what's basically underneath the basket. It's going to be just a T, like so. Again, I'm just dry fitting this without gluing anything. A little short piece there, and a short piece there. And then I've got one elbow that pretty much goes on there, and another elbow that goes on like this. And so as we look down into the bottom of the bucket, this will kind of attach like so. So that's what the finished product will look like. That's what it looks like, kind of sort of without the basket. And again, the concept is for the water to come in, be directed down, and then I've got my elbows backwards. And so you see that the T will force the water to make a circle. The yuck stuff will get caught underneath the basket, and then the water will rise. And again, I'll put my outflow, whatever it's going to look like, maybe here and here or here, haven't decided yet. So just real quickly, now that you see what that looks like, the basket would go like that, and we'll stick the basket on there. And notice that that's pretty much ready to go, and then we'd put all of our filtration stuff on top. So I'm going to go ahead and glue all the PVC in place and come back and load it up with the filters, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, the PVC gluing is finished, so this is all glued and in place, and it looks like we're ready to go. I've got a good fit there with my basket. The only thing that I did not glue was this little connection right here. It is very tight the way it is, but I thought if I ever wanted to pull this whole PVC and basket out, I could just pull that off and then lift everything if I ever needed to clean muck. The other thing that I saw some people do is they'd cut a slit with a razor blade knife all the way, and they could kind of finagle the basket from around the PVC fitting. So that'll be plan B if for some reason this doesn't hold. But as tight and snug as that is, I have a feeling that I'm going to be okay. So now I need to decide what I'm going to do with my outflow. Again, I'm going to walk it over here to the pond, and I think it's going to set like this. And again, what will eventually happen is these rocks will be taken away and rerouted to form around this to hide all of this, and I'll probably use that as the topper for the bucket. But the concept is to sink this into the ground about halfway. And so I'm going to come over here and kind of show you, okay, that's where the place is going to be, but imagine it just into the ground. So the bottom line is, I think based on that positioning, actually I would probably position it like this, just rotate it, and so my pump will be there pumping through. I'll have my hose going right here, and then so that tells me I think I'm going to put my first outflow here. I'm going to off-center it in case I have to come back and add a second one. So that's next. Okay, so I went ahead and put my outflow valve in. That's the first one. I just did one over on the right. I have a feeling I'm going to have to come back and put a second one right here. All the readings said that the outflow should be twice the size as the intake, and I think this obviously is 3/4 inch hose cut down to a 1/2 inch, and so I'm saying I think that's 1 inch, but I have a feeling that I'm going to need another one. Could I have done 2 inch there? Yes. But I wanted to start with this and see. Also, you can see that my hose is now attached and clamped, and so the other end of my hose will eventually be tied to my pump. And here's this new little pump that I bought. I went ahead and put this fountain feature on. If I want to add a top or a fountain, I can, and then the other end of that hose will go right in here on this barb. And this one's got a couple of little valves, so I can adjust the inflow and outflow maybe just a little bit, and I may be able to get away without not having to do 2 of those. So we'll see what's going to happen. I'm going to walk this over to the pond right now, and we'll see what happens. Okay, So I hope you can see that there's that new pond. I put the hose on. I didn't cut the hose to length just yet. I'm kind of just dying to see if this is going to work. Also, I don't have any of the filtration in, and again, I don't have any hose. What would happen is this would drip down, and I'm going to have to build a waterfall and hide this. But I just want to see if any of this stuff even works. And no, this is not my permanent power as well. Kind of just dying to see what happens when I plug it in. So, you know, here we go. So let's see if we've got, looks like water is coming in. And doesn't look like it's coming in too terribly rapidly. So the bucket is filling. Kind of exciting to see what this is going to look like. I bet you my outflow, well, I don't know, we'll see. Again, will all the filtration padding, will that slow down some of the water? I don't know. But right now it doesn't appear that this is coming in super, super fast. So, and again, my basket's going to want to rise because I don't have, let me grab one of these little rocks and just set it on there just to hold it down for the time being. And so the bucket is rising. Yeah, we're definitely going to need that hose because I know that I'm going to lose some, you know, right off the edge, and I'm going to lose some pond water. So let's see here. So again, that would be filtering through pads and all that stuff. You can even see the debris in the water right there. So again, this is, I think, a 600 gallons per hour pump. Do I need more? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out in just a second. But it appears, you can even see, I don't know if you can see with the glare, but look at that piece of glass that obviously it is swirling around. The water is swirling like exactly like we want to happen. I don't see any drips on the side of the bucket. And we are approaching the outflow, so if I had a hose there, I'm sure that would work just fine. And so that would create my waterfall, and it almost is hitting the pond. I'll put a little piece of hose there, but here's the big test. The test is the outflow fast enough, or is this bucket going to overflow? Yes, I know, I'm losing pond water. But let's see if so it appears that bucket is staying right about at that level. So wow, okay, kind of cool. A couple, I'm going to go ahead and unplug so I don't lose all my pond water. But that appears to be working. Yay! Okay, so what I have done is I've cut the excess plastic hose off, and so I've cut this to length, and I also I went ahead and put my outflow on. I also put a piece of tubing right here on my outflow. Again, we saw that it was leaking water. When we sink the bucket into the ground, of course I'll cut this to length. I'm anticipating that only needing to be about 4 or 5 inches, and then I'll hide it underneath some rocks. So, okay, ready or not, next up is I've got to dig a hole right here to sink the tub in, so that's next. Okay, I've dug out my hole here and taken about a foot or foot and a half. I'm really just kind of guessing, so we're going to see how the bucket fits down in there and kind of, I guess, check our height, if you will. And it looks like, let's go around to this front side. By the time I put my topper rock on there, there's just a little bit of a, obviously, gravity slope for the hose. Once I cut the hose, I think I'm going to call that good. I may dig another inch or two out, but that'll allow, you know what, I'm going to call it good right there, because if I want to build a little one-step waterfall or something right there, we're calling that good. Time to fill in around the bucket. I just thought of something. Probably we would like to have our bucket level, so I went and got my level out of the garage, and as I fill dirt in around the hole here, I'm going to make sure that I'm level both ways. And you know, just by eyeballing it, it looks like we're pretty good right here. So as I fill in dirt, I'm going to make sure we're level also.